Three. Welcome back to Draftstack. My name is Nick Thomas. I'm joined today by 2026 four-star Shane Pendergrass. First of all, man, I'm really excited to have you on. Thanks for your time.
Yes, sir. I'm excited to be on here. Thank you for having me on your platform.
For sure, man. Well, you're set to spend the next season with Hargrave Military Academy. What kind of
Yep.
went into your decision to spend another year there?
So last year I made the move from Mount Zion Prep to Hargrave Military Academy. I thought it was just it was good for me to get out of the area. I've been here all my life, so what I'm saying, be able to go out, get a fresh set of eyes on me, what I'm saying, playing the prep landscape against older guys, I think that, better preparing me for college. Hargrave has a great history of, what I'm saying, a long line of NBA players like Montrezl Harrell, Terry Rozier, Najee Marshall. They've had a lot of McDonald's All-Americans come through there. So I just think me going to Hargrave, it was big for me. They put me in positions to better my recruitment and better my development. And I think in the second year, Hargrave will be great for me.
For sure, man. And what's your goal for the season personally, right, at
Yeah.
Hargrave?
Obviously, I want to win a national championship. We play in a league, elite prep league. They're run by the CBG. Great group of guys, great league, great competition. So obviously getting player of the year in that league. I want to be top 5 in rebounding, points. I want to lead my team to a championship. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. And is there anything in particular that you're looking to work on or add to your game between now and the end of your senior year?
Yeah, just being able to play more on the ball, being more fluid with my movements, my game, and then just having everything meshed together. I could shoot, get to the cup, so just being able to be versatile with scoring and then facilitating for my teammates.
Right. What would you say your biggest strength is, right?
I think my biggest strength is probably rebounding and being able to use my length on defense to disrupt shots, passes. I'm not a big shot blocker. I don't block a lot of shots, but I think walling up at the rim, disrupting a lot of layups, closing out, disrupting a lot of jump shots.
Right. Yeah. And what about like your biggest weakness?
I think my biggest weakness right now is just being able to slow down, process things. Sometimes I think I rush shots. Granted, some of them might go in, but it might not be the best shot I could have gotten that moment.
Yeah, man. For
Just
sure.
thinking what could I have gotten better? Could I maybe made an extra pass to my teammate? Could I have maybe gave him a pump fake, got to the rim? You know what I mean? So just being able to slow myself down.
Yeah, a lot of players your age kind of do struggle with that. But how do you plan on like working on that? Do you have a specific sort of framework or a training plan planned out?
Yeah, Hargrave, and even AAU Team Museum, on the Pro 16 circuit, they just allow me to make mistakes on the court. At the end of the day, you got to make mistakes to get better. You know what I mean? So, and then even in workouts, going as hard as I can, making mistakes. Don't worry about it. Next play, having a next play mentality. You make a mistake, just keep going. Eventually, you know what I'm saying? You make 5 mistakes in one game. 2 more games later, you only gonna make 2 mistakes. 3 games later, you only gonna make 1 mistake. So, just keep working, and then I just, over time, it's just gonna come. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been playing basketball for so long. That I'm going on 5 years. Going into this year, competitively. So I think me being a little early, a late bloomer. So I think it just comes with time.
What did you play before that? Did you play like
Uh,
soccer or like
Yeah, I
American
played.
football?
I played American football. So I was a football player in middle school. Then I shot up out of nowhere. I just hit a huge growth spurt in quarantine and started playing basketball.
Right. Were you like a coveted like recruited player with your football?
No, actually, no, I wasn't. I wasn't that good. Honestly, sports wasn't the big thing for me in middle school. I kind of just played sports to be active. My parents, they always wanted me to be active, so I did something with myself with my free time, and then once I had a growth spurt, watching basketball, seeing all my peers going up, what I'm saying, being good, it just made me want to, pursue the sport and now some people might have been better than me at the start, but now just hard work, I've surpassed players, and just coming to a player of my own.
For sure. Well, you have hit a growth spurt, right? Do you have your like most recent measurements, like your most recent updated measurements?
Yeah, my most recent measurements, I was measured at 6'9" exactly. My wingspan, I don't know what my wingspan is, but right now I'm around 217 pounds.
Damn. Right.
Yeah,
Okay. That's crazy, man.
yeah,
All right. Well, let's say I'm a college coach and
mhm,
I'm awful at my job, right? And
yeah,
I've done zero scouting on you, and I'm completely unfamiliar with your game. How would
yeah.
you describe yourself as a player? Like, what's your scouting report?
Yeah. I could work in the mid range. Relentless rebounder. I'm always gonna give 100%. No matter if I'm scoring, if my teammates scoring, I'm always give 100%. So, just someone that's gonna play hard, make shots, rebound.
Right. Is there like a certain player, whether it's at the college level or the NBA level, that
Yeah.
you watch a lot of film on and try and sort of mirror their game a bit?
Yeah, of course. Being from the DMV area, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, he's a guy from the DMV area. Jeff Green, another guy from the DMV area. In college, Neat Clifford, Colorado State last year. Walter Clayton from Florida last year. I know he's a smaller guard, but just watching players' tendencies, decision making, how they're able to get to the rim, use their body, finish, the things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who would you say is your like NBA player comparison?
Right now, I don't think I would say I have an NBA player compare. I think I would say I have a mixture of things in my game, like with the turnaround fade, the being able to pull up off the dribble, being able to use my length and things like that. The only time I think I can remember I've been compared to an NBA player was Dinos. He compared me to Dinos, the director of Pangos All American. He compared me to Tar
Yeah.
Easton.
That's a pretty cool comp, man.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty cool. You recently ranked out 19th in Draftstack's official 2026 recruitment rankings.
Mm.
Does your ranking, whether it's from Draftstack or from another company, hold any value to you? Like, are you one of those guys that is once a week checking in on where they're standing against their
Yeah.
competition?
No, no, honestly, no. You know, as I've been going, I'm saying it's a blessing to be recognized. But at the end of the day, everybody's got to get on the court, everybody's got to lace up. So, yeah, I'm going at whoever. It doesn't matter if they're number one, number 200, it doesn't matter. I'm going at them. So, rankings don't really matter to me. It's a blessing, like I said, to, what I'm saying, even be even in that category with top players and my peers, because a lot of people would love to be in my shoes. So it's a blessing knowing people are coming from my head also. People have the same mentality as me. They also want to be where I'm at. So going on the court every time and playing as hard as I can, you know what I'm saying? Because anytime your spot can be taken.
Right. Well, you said you're going at anyone, whether they're first or 200th or whatever, right? And I know this is a bit of a hard one, but how do you sort of feel about that ranking? Where do you personally think you sit in that class?
Yeah, obviously, I think I'm the best player in my class. Everybody's gonna say that. Everybody should believe they're the best player in their class. But
That's what we're looking for.
what I'm saying, at the end of the day, I don't think that stuff matters because, once you get to college, you're playing against 25-year-olds, you know what I'm saying? So what you did in high school, everybody was, once you get to the NBA, overseas, college, everybody was the beast in high school, you know what I mean? Everybody was the best player coming from where they're coming from. So I think once you get to college, all of the water settles, and then the real rises to the top, you know what I mean?
For sure, I like that, man. Look, yeah, obviously college is a big leap from high school, as you just said. Have you sort of? Is there anyone that you're in touch with at the college level that you speak to a bit that has maybe been shed some light on that for you and is gonna, I guess, try and help you through that transition? Like, is
Yeah,
that out there?
yeah, I just recently dropped my top nine. Cal Berkeley, Virginia Tech, Duquesne, LaSalle, George Mason, George Washington, East Carolina, Louisiana Tech, and Boise State. All of those being great schools. Got a few ACC schools in there. A10 American. So yeah, it's a blessing to be in that position. And I also have a good, great circle around me. My parents, my mom, my dad, my manager. And then just the college coaches believing in me, seeing something in me. You know what I'm saying? Seeing something that, they think they can work with on the next level. And then, what I'm saying, at the end of the day, like I said, I want to go to the NBA. I want to play at the highest level. So going somewhere where I can get on the floor, make an impact, impact winning with a great group of guys, with a staff that believes in me.
For sure. Well, obviously, there's a lot of time between now and when you have to commit. But what things do you sort of factor in most and value most in your commitment? Is there like, could you give me three things, I guess, that you prioritize the most?
Yeah, three things I would say: probably relationships number one. You got to have a relationship with the coaching staff. You got to have a relationship with the players, because at the end of the day, that's who you're spending 95% of your time with at that time at your school. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you'll be at class for what, 3-4 hours out of the day, but the rest of the day you're spending it on the court, in the gym, in the locker room. So if it's a toxic locker room, if it's toxic with the coaching staff, things won't prevail for you. And then number two, I'd have to say playing time. I want to go somewhere where I can get on the floor. I can't make it to the NBA sitting on the bench watching other players play. You know what I mean? So obviously you got to earn your spot. So going somewhere where I have that opportunity to go earn my spot. You know what I mean? And then number three, I'd have to say, let me think. Let me think. Probably I'd probably say like campus life, or just way of living. You know what I mean? Obviously want to go somewhere where you can enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the basketball, when I get out of practice, can I go hang out? You know what I'm saying? Can we go hang out as a team? Is there somewhere for us to go eat, chill? You know what I mean? So yeah, those are the three things I think I'd say.
Yeah, all right. Well, sort of stylistically, what kind of system do you see fitting your game the best? Right, you talk about sort of
Yeah.
the need to get minutes early,
Yeah.
and obviously to get those minutes early, you're gonna have to go to a system that fits you. So, what
Yeah.
are you kind of looking for in that?
Yeah, just a school that plays hard. I love to play hard. I love to get up and down, get on the rim, rebound. A group of guys that's gonna play hard, just as hard as me. You know what I'm saying? Um, a group of guys that love to shoot. Play your game. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, everybody has to have structure. You know what I mean? It has to be a system. You can't just go out there playing one on one and things like that. But playing with a squad that knows how to read and react, be able to make decisions, not be robots. You know what I mean? Just be able to just be hoopers. You know what I'm saying? Play the game, obviously.
How do you feel that your game translates to the college level?
Yeah, I think a lot of players, or not a lot of players, a lot of coaches tell me that my game translates, but I think it's easier said than done. It's more physical on the next level. I think obviously rebounding, you go rebound and play defense. You know what I'm saying? I think you'll find your way. So if you rebound and play defense, I think you'll find your way a lot. But obviously, you have to make shots. You have to be able to score the ball. You know, you have to be able to retain plays. You have to be able to be coachable and things like that. So I think all those intangibles I think that I have will help me prevail in college.
Right. Okay. Well, I want to go one beyond that. Right. You mentioned before the NBA. Obviously, that's the goal for everyone. Right,
Yeah.
and that should be the goal for everybody. So how do you feel your game fits into the NBA? If that's something that has even crossed your mind?
Yeah. Right now, honestly, I haven't even thought about it. Honestly, I'm thinking in the moment. You know what I mean? I don't want to think too far ahead. Obviously, like I said, the NBA skill gap between where I'm at now and the NBA is
Crazy.
completely wide open. You know what I mean? So obviously, 2-3 years closing that gap, working relentlessly to close that gap. The physicality is different, playing against 30-year-old men. LeBron James, he's been in the league he's been in the league for longer than I've been alive, you know what I'm saying? So guys that have that much experience playing basketball, it's hard to top that. So, working relentlessly, you know what I'm saying, thinking the game, watching film, being in the weight room, things like that. I think, if I keep doing that, I'll be fine.
Right. Well, okay. I want to touch a little bit on recruiting now. You mentioned your top 9, right? Have you received any interest from other schools without an official offer?
Yeah, I have Oklahoma State, Toledo, just to name a few. They've Maryland reached out to my manager. So yeah, I've been hearing from some schools that haven't offered, my recruitment is completely my recruitment is wide open, honestly. Those 9 schools are just the schools that are on me the heaviest, and those are schools I'm heavily considering. If any school wants to come in the mix, I'm completely open to it. Me and my family, we're completely open to it.
All right. Cool. Well, do you have any visits planned?
Yeah, actually, right now, I want to say it's 4 visits. Can you still see me?
Yeah. Yeah. You good?
I need to. I'm looking at my calendar right now. September. The weekend of
You
September
just cut out there.
12th.
You just cut out there. You said September.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. I can hear you now.
Okay, so August 29th, I have a visit set up to LaSalle. September 5th, I have a visit set up to George Mason. September 12th, I have a visit set up to Louisiana Tech. And no, in September 19th, I have a visit set up to Eastern Carolina.
All right. Cool. That's great, man. If you had to, look, I want to wrap this up now. We've
Yeah, yeah,
been talking about 15 minutes.
yep,
So I do appreciate your time. Before we go, we were talking a little bit about it before we started recording, but just the jerseys behind you, man. I think
yeah.
that's really cool. Do you want to sort of walk everyone through what the jerseys are and what they come from?
Oh yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
it's a really cool touch.
For sure. This is the Wooten camp, Wooten Top 150 camp out of Vegas. I actually went out there and I went to the regional camp. I didn't get invited to the main one. I went out there hoping, what I'm saying, to make a name for myself. I went out there and performed and got invited to the main camp. This is the Will Barton camp. This is out in Baltimore. Will Barton, he's from Baltimore, so this was a camp. This was the CP3 camp. I went here, I believe this was 9th grade or 8th grade. MSH TV. Obviously it's a famous camp. Went there in 7th grade. Gym Couch. It was a showcase. I went there. That's in New York. Under Armour Future 60. Um, that was in Florida last year. Hoop Group Elite. That was a few years ago. The College Basketball Academy. And then DMV Top 80 Elite Camp. It's a little local DMV camp. And then right there, I got the Pangos All American Camp. I recently went there and got MVP of the Top 60 game. And then that's the Nike Pro City Kenner League Pro-Am jersey.
That's sick, man.
Yep.
Is that where your college jersey and hopefully NBA jersey is gonna be hung as well?
Yep. Hopefully. Yep. I got some space. I got some space saved over there for him. Over there with my 1,000 points and my
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Puma poster. So I got some space
Yeah.
over there. Over there, you know what I'm saying, for some more jerseys.
I see the shoes too, man. You're a big shoe guy.
Yeah, I'm a big shoe guy. Obviously having a large foot, it's hard to find shoes in my size, but when I do find shoes, I try to get into them. I like Birkenstocks, Yeezys, New Balance. Being from the DMV, New Balance is a big thing. I recently started getting back into Vans. I used to wear a lot of Vans, but I've been seeing some Vans that I like, so I got back into some Vans.
That's cool, man. Well, look, that's all I got for you today, Shane. Thanks for your time, and hopefully we can chop it up again at some point.
Yeah, appreciate you having me. Appreciate you having me on your platform. I know it took us a while, scheduling issues and things on my part, so that's my bad.
That's all good, man. That's all
But
good. We got through it.
I'm glad we could finally get on here and chop it up. Hopefully I can get on here again.
All right. Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.